and welcome. Lessons learned from the Christchurch Earthquake. Now, I'm not going to double up on the information that you would find on getthrough.govt.nz or civildefence.govt.nz, but the last 2 weeks I had a number of emails from people who have relatives in Christchurch, and they've come up with some very good information, some very helpful hints on what will help in an emergency situation that goes beyond the information that is on those websites and that you get on the television programs. So I thought I'll put this into a short video and share that with you. Communication is of course vital in a situation like that. It is important that you keep your good old-fashioned analog plug-in phones handy. Don't throw them away, and know where you have stored at least one. If there's a power cut, your handheld cordless will not operate. Save the battery power of your cell phone by reverting to texting rather than making phone calls all the time. Not always practical, but if you can limit the amount of time you speak, then your battery will last longer. You might want to invest in a small solar charger like you see on the picture down there. They can be quite handy, and at least you have independent charging power at your disposal. In addition to communication, the battery-powered radio is of course very important. This particular model is quite handy as it has a battery. In addition to that, you can crank the handle to power it up, and it also has a solar panel on the top, so quite a handy little tool. But you should know also what your emergency frequencies are, which radio stations they are and what the frequency is. So I've gone ahead and basically written it out and printed it and stuck it on the radio so I don't have to start frantically searching around for it. Please note this is obviously for my local area. You will have to look up on the websites what your particular radio station frequencies are. They will possibly be different if you don't live in Kapiti. Laptops and notebooks, if you still have battery life in them, then Mobile Connect USB sticks can be quite handy to stay in touch with the world. All the three providers, 2 Degrees, Vodafone and Telecom, offer these at various prices and plans, so it might be another alternative to stay in touch. You cannot have too many torches and batteries. We've heard that many times. And of course the issue comes up that, especially for the ladies, where do you keep a torch when you just have a purse or a small handbag? Well, if you look at the size of this small Swiss Army knife, it's especially designed for ladies, just about 5 centimeters. The little cross in the center, that's the button to turn on the flashlight, which is quite strong. And it takes a small button battery, so no excuse to not have a small torch with you all the time. Now this is quite a great idea, a hands-free torch, and when you think about the practicality of it, it does make sense. You might be carrying an emergency kit in one hand and maybe a child in the other arm. If you can pop this onto your head and still have some light, that's actually quite a handy little tool. Solar-powered garden lights. Now, when I heard that, I thought, well, what's that going to be great for? But when you think about, especially with small children, do you really want to be mucking around with candles and open flames all night? So this could actually be a very good, a safe alternative. You charge them up during the day, you put them inside during the night, and you've got some little night lights and a little bit of illumination, and it is perfectly safe. So quite a good idea, I thought, and that's why I put it into this video. Moving on to water. Obviously water is going to be an issue. You should have 3 liters per person per day. Well, I would make that 5 because there's always spillage, especially with small children. One of the big problems is when it comes to refilling and going to the filling stations, do you want to be rocking up there with 20 or 30 bottles? It makes a lot more sense to have suitable canisters that you can fill up and take away quickly. Obviously we need to purify the water, and the recommendation is 5 drops of bleach. Well, how do you do that with a big canister like that? And it actually makes sense to get a small dispenser bottle from the pharmacy for a few dollars and put that in with a funnel. Please use rubber gloves because bleach is very aggressive to your skin. Personal hygiene. Once we start using the water just for cooking and for drinking, we will need a stack of these little wipes and hand sanitizers. They come in very handy, and again they can be carried in any purse or handbag, so it's easily accessible. Keep some emergency cash. Once the power is out, ATMs will not work, EFTPOS will not work anymore, and you should have a little bit of cash with you at all times. Keep your car filled up. If it comes down to the halfway mark, fill it up again. This will give you at least a 200 to 150 kilometers range in your car when the power is out and the petrol pumps don't work. So avoid going down all the way to empty and then being caught out in an emergency. I also recommend that you go back to the video number 4 in the series I did on how to make sure your contents insurance claim gets paid, because I explained in detail on what Google Docs is and how you can store all your important personal documents there. So your passports and your insurance documents, your mortgage documents, all these kind of things that you're supposed to grab in an emergency. Well, you might not be able to get to it. It might be dark. It might be difficult. And if you have all of this information stored online, you can get to it at any given time once you have access to the internet. So go back to that video and watch it. It's very simple to do, and it's a great alternative to carrying all the paper with you. Please share this video with as many family or friends so they're aware of all these helpful tips that have come out of the Christchurch situation. If you have any additional ideas or tips or heard of any helpful hints, please email and I may include them in the next video. And of course, with all of these things, action is the key. Please don't delay putting together your own emergency kits, and have a plan of escape for everyone and discuss it with family members so everyone knows where they're at, because that will put your mind at ease that you know what you're going to do in an emergency. It goes a long way to alleviating stress when everyone knows where are the emergency kits, where do we go, where do we meet, what's the plan. Don't delay it, do it now, because I've talked to so many people in the aftermath of Christchurch and everybody is in agreement. Yes, I should really have an emergency kit. Yes, I really should get on with it. And when you talk a few days later, yeah, I got quite busy and I still haven't done it. Please don't fall into that trap. You really do want to have your emergency kits ready. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.